Welcome to softball action on Munger Vision PEGTV Channel 15 Sports. A much better day. Poultney is at Mill River. And there's a strike from Amanda Lee. Let me white balance. Thought I'd done that before. There we go. Yeah, so Rainey Paquette, leadoff batter for Poultney. Amanda Lee's in the circle, and there's a bunt drop down third baseline, and it'll be foul. And again, the sun is out. There's a gusting wind, but I'll tell you what, compared to last Friday, when it was so wet and so cold and so miserable, this is nothing. That's Casey Dambracus in the foreground. She's the center fielder for Mill River, and that just missed being a strike. You have Sierra Phelps is at first base defensively for Mill River. Casey Camo is the second base person. Michaela Maneri is the shortstop, and Melissa Mangan is the third baseman, and that ball is tagged foul. That's a good drive, foul. Amanda Lee and Mill River coming in with a 2-0 record. They have beaten Twin Valley and also West Rutland. And Poultney coming in with a 1-1 record. That's off the fist and out of play for a foul ball. So Paquette doing a good job of battling here in this first at-bat. Rachel Horn is on deck, then Kathy Decker due up. That's the top three in the Poultney lineup as they take a break in the action and they gather up some of these foul balls. I'd like to thank Rob Black, and he's the athletic director here at Mill River, and the coaching staff and the whole Mill River community for allowing me to videotape Mill River sports and then play it back on PEGTV Channel 15 Sports. It's a blast to do, and I'm really glad they let me do it. I'll set the outfield for you defensively in just a second. I get the strikeout on. I'll pitch low and outside, and that'll be the first strikeout for Amanda Lee, who started her season off against Twin Valley with 17 strikeouts in that ball game. Followed that up with 11 strikeouts against West Rutland. So in 2 ball games, Amanda Lee has 28 strikeouts, and that's going to be through the hole at short, and that'll be picked up by Kachupi, and she'll get the ball back into play. So there's the game's first base hit, and it was pulled through the hole at short. Now Decker up, and she's the DP. Thinking that's how it's working, because they also have a flex player, and I got to kind of get back into softball mode here from so many basketball games. Sarah Brown will throw down, and there's the stolen base. I'll tell you, there's nothing better than small ball and running the bases and being aggressive stealing. And even though we haven't seen a successful bunt yet, we did see that Paquette tried to bunt. Horn got the single. She'll steal second base, and I didn't mention, but I did briefly, Sarah Brown is the catcher for Amanda Lee. So wind blew the camera a little bit sideways. It is gusty, but I'll tell you what. There's a ball that gets away from Brown, and you'll follow Decker all the way down to third base. So she is in a good position here with just one down. That's Horn. I'm sorry, he followed Horn down to second, third base, and Decker's at the plate. That's a good stop by Brown, the catcher. In the outfield, you have Haley Kachupi in left field. Center fielder is Casey Dambracus, and Taryn Rudenis is the right fielder. It's a very solid Mill River ball club. All good pitch. And there's a strike call. No, I'm a big advocate of a small ball, and this is a great spot to drop the ball down. Actually, they're playing deep. Mangan is at third base. That's going to be off the fist and fouled out of play, and you can see the crowd kind of basking in the sunlight that we haven't seen an awful lot of during the spring sports season. The week prior to softball and baseball starting off, it was just gorgeous out, 70 and 80 degrees, but what you know, at the minute that the game started, the weather went back to what's normal weather for spring in Vermont, 30s and 40s. Today, I'm not going to complain. This is a much better gig today than Friday. I was just a frozen puppy. There's strikeout number 2. And again, that's the second strikeout of this first inning. And I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just making observations. You just see a lot of softball teams come in with the baseball mentality of swinging away. This is Boguski up. She's a good deep ball hitter. But to me, that with that one out and a runner at third, that was a perfect spot to put pressure on the defense, force them to make a play, and small ball it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to release a runner from third. I mean, what's the worst case scenario? Oh, that's going to be over the top of Lee. It's going to be a tough play. They'll pick it up, they'll fire, and she is going to be safe, and a run will score. So off the fist, just enough juice on the ball by Boguski to get it over the top of Amanda Lee, and Poultney will take that 1-0 lead, and now Taylor Diefendorf, she's the catcher for Poultney. She is up. We're scheduled for 7. Got nobody going on that pitch. Boguski stayed at first base. Now, usually I dance around with the umpire at second base. Today it's going to be Dambrakis in center field. I'm going to have to slide to my left. And of course, she has, and wherever she wants to be, that's the important part, not me. But I always shooting from center field with no elevation. It's a pain in the butt not to get in somebody's way. So Lee, with that nice drop action on that, had some heat on it. I mean, it's fastball, and she's looking to strike out those, 3 players this inning. She has given up 2 singles and a 1 run. And tickling the corner, but not getting the call, and there's the stolen base. So, again, I like what Poultney's doing. They tried the small ball with Paquette. They've stolen a couple bases, and they've gotten a run here. And they've got Boguski in scoring position. And that's going to drop in, and that's going to be another run coming in. So they're going to send Boguski home, and she's going to be safe. No, they threw it. You know what happened? I followed the base runner, and they threw the runner out. All right, so they'll stay at a 1-0 game. You see the umpires all talking. It's going to be 1-0 Mill River trailing as they come up in the bottom of the first against Poultney on Munger Vision. So in a 1-0 game in the bottom of the first, you're looking at Emma Lamberton. She is the starting pitcher for the Blue Devils. She'll be looking at Amanda Lee, Casey Dambrakis, and Michaela Maneri due up for Mill River. Again, I'm at Mill River Union High School, North Clarendon, Vermont. Beautiful place to come catch a softball game or a baseball game. And Lamberton held on that one a tad bit too long, and I'll be high for a ball, and I'll set that Poultney defense after this next pitch. Again, the Blue Devils coming in with a 1-1 record. And there's a strike. Mill River at 2-0. The defense on the infield looks like this. It has Margaret Lyle at first base, Kelsey Brown's at second, Rainey Paquette, your shortstop, Nicole Boguski's at third base, and Taylor Diefendorf is the catcher. There's the ball, drop down on the bunt to throw to first, and she'll be safe. And again, small ball, and Lee can stroke it. She's got line drive power, but she's just been so effective dropping those bunts down from the leadoff spot and putting pressure on the defense, getting them moving around, thinking. Softball, fast pitch softball, college level, this a whole different animal than baseball game. A lot of casual fans will watch it and think it's a baseball game, but the bunt is completely different. And there's a stolen base by Lee. And again, I like what I'm watching from both teams today is Lee will get the steal. And she'll be down at second base. Now, Dambrakis at the plate had a phenomenal game hitting the ball against West Rutland. She got underneath that one. That's playable. Paquette, a good athlete, will make the grab for the first out on the infield. So the base runner unable to advance on that, as that's a fly out, a put out to the shortstop, Rainey Paquette. Now Michaela Maneri up. Maneri playing short today. And she'll swing away, and Lee, she was almost halfway to third base and put the brakes on and went back. Again, I like to wish her father, Mike Lee, a speedy recovery as he's had a serious infection in his leg, and he's in Springfield, Massachusetts. That's on the infield, and that's not on the infield. There, it's going to be holding a runner at third base because the ball was just barely over the infield. Now she's going to come home, and she's going to be safe. You can see the ball dropped, and a runner, Maneri, going to third base, and we'll have a tie game at a 1-1 score. I started to say Lee held up from burning it around the bases because that ball had a possibility to be caught. Now Melissa Mangan up for Mill River, and we've got a timeout by Poultney as they want to talk about it in the circle. Again, 1-1 with 1 out and a runner at third. We're in the bottom of the first, but like I was getting back to Mike Lee. Mike Lee was going to be the head softball coach this year for Mill River, and went home after practice one day, and his knee hurt, his leg hurt, and long story short, he got checked out, had surgery. He's had to be looked at in different hospitals, and had a strep infection in his leg. So doing much better now, I've heard. Got to put some weight on, but wish him the best. And and somebody was telling me about the website, and I just can't remember where it was. But if you contact Mill River Union High School, and you want to send Mike an email or a get well card or anything, that'd really be cool. That'd be nice of you to do that. So get behind him, support him, find out how you get in contact with him, and wish him the best. So Mangan at the plate. And she'll turn on it, and that's going to be a foul ball. So Mill River down to the cleanup batter with Mangan, then Camo up, and Redenis possibly. There's one out, one on. Maneri is at third. And that is driven a mile. And nice job. Oh, she came around, made the grab, dropped the ball, and that'll be a run scored. Plus a runner at first base. So it's 2-1 now as that ball was hit to Laura Lyle in center field, and she seemed to have it all under control. And for whatever reason, she tracked it, got in underneath it, and just dropped it. So Camo up. And I'll be scooped out of the dirt by Diefendorf, the catcher. Now, did I set the whole defense? I don't know if I did or not. I will go around the outfield real quickly. Michaela Lewis is in right field, Laura Lyle in center, and Rachel Horn in left. As you see the catcher getting her strap adjusted on her shin guard. As Camo steps back in there. 2-1, Mill River with the lead. And that will be a ball. Again, it's cool out today, and it's gusting wind, but I won't complain anywhere near what I did Friday. That's going to be hyperthermia. Friday, oh my goodness. Oh, great pitch. Swing on and miss. Runner stays at first. So Camo was swinging for the fences. We'll swing through that pitch. Had a little drop action on it, actually. Now, I don't know what Lamberton throws. I didn't get a chance to talk to her before the game, but that will miss high. Game scheduled for 7. Hopefully we'll get all 7 innings in. I don't want to see a mercy rule game. Softball season is short enough in the state of Vermont without having shortening the games. And that'll be fouled down the first baseline. So a good job getting out there after that pitch on the outside corner. Again, Saturdays at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You can tune into Channel 15 and watch all the local games of the week. That will be a ball to the backstop, and that will allow the runner. Well, actually, that's ball 4 anyway, so Mangan will go down to second. And going to first base is Camo. Has Redenis up now. Redenis got a lot of power. She's got to find that consistency in hitting the ball, but she can really drive the ball when she gets a hold of it. She'll watch that one floating a tad bit high. Step out, look down to the head coach down at third base. Swing and a miss on that one. I'll leave the count up at 1 ball, 1 strike. So Mill River responded after falling behind 1-0. The top half of the first with a couple runs so far and 2 runners on, 1 out, and that will roll just a tad bit away from Diefendorf. Not enough to really advance the runners. So yeah, games of the week start Saturday at 4 in the afternoon. They run till Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. You can also go to PEGTV.com, click video on demand, and watch the local sport. Oh, that's a shot. That's a massive shot. And that's going to be just off from the glove, and that's going to score, whoops, a couple runs. As you can see, Mangan coming in. And boy, I tell you what, Redenis got underneath that and lifted that ball. So Mangan comes in with run number 3. Camo ends up at second. Redenis will get an RBI, and she'll end up with just a single. And now Madeline Pritchard is the DP. And that's a good pitch. Now, if Lamberton can just find that same consistency on her release points. Man, nice action to the left-handed batter, down and away. Just missed inside. Pritchard kind of dove out on that, but that was a pretty close pitch to being a strike. Actually, that's a great location to an inside. You think inside, but that was down low. And that missed high. 2-1 to count. 1 out. 3-1 Mill River, bottom of the first. Emma Lamberton in the circle for Poultney. Held that one just a tad too long, and that's why it rose so high. When you release them too early, they roll across the plate And that will be ball 4. So Pritchard will walk, and that will juice the bases for Mill River. And Haley Kachupi up. And Kachupi with good power at the plate. And that was the biggest thing I thought was going to be the obstacle for Poultney today, was not really their defense, not really their offense, was just not to get hurt with walks. And that's going to drop in for a base hit, and you can see it being picked up, and one run in, and they're going to send the base runner, and the throw is going to go to third base, and they're going to earn a pickle play. And they throw it away, and Pritchard's going to end up at third, and she will hold up. So, no, she's coming home. Pritchard's going to come home, and she will be safe. It's Poultney getting a little loose on the infield right now. But I tell you, when in doubt, bring the ball into the circle. As Camo scores, Rodena scores, and Pritchard scores. And I am looking for Kachupi. She ends up at first base. Now Sarah Brown up. She is the 8th batter. No, she's the 9th batter to come to the plate here in the first inning, as Mill River is able to really stretch out here and take advantage of some miscues by Poultney. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs in, so it's 6-1 Mill River. And this is a league matchup, as Mill River is D3 now, Division 3, Division C, whatever you want to call it, in women's sports. And Brown went down low, hit it up the middle, and got a base hit out of it. And the runners will stay at first and second, so again, keeping her head down on the ball and able to step forward with that front foot and drive the ball up the middle. And this should be, and it is, Amanda Lee, the top of the order. Lee had a bunt single already in this inning and scored. And a good scoop by Diefendorf behind the plate will keep the runners at first and second. So the Blue Devils looking to minimize the damage here. And that's going to be a base hit. That will fall in front of Lyle, and the runner coming home, and yeah, they should eat at the ball. Yeah, just hold it up. I'm not saying concede the run, but it was a done deal already. So Kachupi will score. Brown will end up at second. A base hit for Lee and an RBI, and now Dan Brackus up. She popped out to the shortstop in this inning, so she's up for the second time, and that ball will be high and tight. And you can see Brown dancing around. That's the center fielder in the foreground, Laura Lyle. And that will be fouled down the third baseline. No, in the old days I would have asked them to move or hollered out to the center fielders, but it's their game. I'm just here to tape it. So it's just funny. Usually the center fielders don't affect me. Strike called. It's usually the no offense to the umpires. It's usually the umpires moving around. Pitch on the way will be low for a ball. I'll tell you what, that's tough at home to sit there and not be able to see what's going on. So if you bear with me, I will slide over. There you go. Oh, a swing and a miss by Dan Brackus, and she will go down on strikes for out number 2, and a distinction I know she won't want, but she is the 2 out so far this inning. Now Maneri up. She had a single and scored a run back earlier in this inning. That's going to be it and be caught, and that's the inning, but Mill River will come up with a bunch of runs. I count them up again, but I think it's 6-1. The Mill River Minutemen with the lead over Poultney going into the top of the second. It is 7-1 as I've double-checked my math, and that is quickly a pop-up here. And it'll be out of the reach of the catcher Brown, so it'll be a second chance here for Kelsey Brown. Poultney with a couple base hits in that first inning, able to pick up a run. And the Amanda Lee in a circle, and that's going to be hit down to short. All right, it's going to be picked up by Mangan. She'll double clutch and get her. Nice strong throw by Mangan. That saved her right there. She had a little problem exchanging the ball from the glove to the hand, but she's able to gun her out, and she did make that play from third base, so it's a 5-3 ground out. And now the pitcher, Lamberton, up. And that will be inside just a whisker. Like I said, Amanda Lee with 28 strikeouts combined in the first 2 games of the season. Had a couple in that first inning. And that'll be high for a ball. Well, what I have to do is dance around with the camera and the tripod. So you just bear with me and I'll find an open spot, and that's going to be hit down. Maneri's going to scoop it up, and yeah, best thing she can do is just hold on to it. Don't compound the problem. That's just going to be an E6. And the base runner at first base. Now bring up Michaela Lewis for the first time for Poultney. Again, it's only 7-1 with a lot of softball left to play here today. As the umpire, well, we have a change as he's doing bookwork. I don't know who is coming to the ball game for Poultney. Has to be a courtesy runner. And that's going to be fouled. It looks like 11. Let me double check that. So I think it's a courtesy runner that came in. That's what the hold up in the action was. This could be a double play. There's one, and Kamal will just get the one base runner. So I thought for a second we were going to see a 6-4-3 double play, but they'll just get the force out at second. Fielder's choice will go to Lewis. And now Laura Lyle, the center fielder, up. The runner danced around down at first, but didn't commit to going. And I'm just looking at it was Bria Brusso, who was the courtesy runner brought in for Poultney. I just caught up to that. That's off the end of the bat. Lee has a pretty easy inning, as will be 7-1 Mill River with the leads. We go to the bottom of the second as we take it on Poultney on Munger Vision. We're looking at Melissa Meng and Casey Camone when Taryn Rodenis do up for Mill River against Lamberton, Emma Lamberton. Easy task for Poultney. They got to shut down Mill River for a couple innings here. They're down 7-1 to the Minutemen. Of course, easier said than done, but is Lamberton looking into Diefendorf, and the pitch came in a tad bit high, and it'll become obviously a ball. And that defense staying the same when Margaret Lyle at first base. Kelsey Brown's playing second. Rainey Paquette is playing short. Nicole Boguski's at third. Taylor Diefendorf is the catcher, and that'll be a ball. I mentioned Emma Lamberton is in the circle as the pitcher. Rachel Horn is the left fielder. Laura Lyles in center field, and Michaela Lewis is the right fielder for Poultney. That'll miss outside. That'll be a walk, and that means the leadoff batter will be on base for the Minutemen. Casey Camo up. She has walked and scored a run so far in the ball game. See if Mill River wants to keep that aggressive base running going here in the second inning. That pitch right there, Mangan wasn't going. Again, Boguski in about 6 steps off the bag at third base. They show small ball. It's a bunt foul. Like it though. Got everybody thinking, got everybody moving. And I'll just bring Camo back in. She'll be handed the bat and we'll be good to go. Yeah, don't forget the Loyalty Day Parade is coming up on May 2nd, downtown Rutland, 2 o'clock start time. And that'll be a swinging strike. And the runner didn't advance. And the umpire, now I'm not sure. Yeah, it's irrelevant to foul ball now or not because the runner didn't advance. Now I don't think that was also, I don't think that was a third strike. That's what, that's why everything could be asking if it was a foul ball, because I don't think she fouled it. I think it's went off the shin guard of the catcher. That's a swing and a miss, and that's strike 3, and that's the second strikeout recorded by Lamberton. That's a big get right there, because they get the out and the runner can't advance. Now Redennis up. She had an RBI single in the first, and she also scored a run. And that could be playable, and Horn will make that grab. Yeah, now what happened? Horn was celebrating. Her momentum carried her out of play, so she'll make the grab, but the runner is awarded second base. I'll tell you what, she went a long way to track the ball down and make the grab. 2 down and the runner at second. For Madeline Pritchard. Pritchard, as you can see, obviously, batting from the left side. And that'll be swung on and missed. So Lamberton looking to have a much shorter inning of work here in the second, as she faced 13 batters in the first inning. And Pritchard, got that lefty mistake there where she pulls her foot out of the, steps out of the bucket, they call it. She takes her front foot and steps toward first base, which shortens her bat. And that's a good stop by Diefendorf, the catcher. They'll keep Mangan at second base. There's 2 down. And the runner at second. Kachupi on deck. Mill River up 7-1 here in the second inning. And Pritchard will pull that aggressively through the hole between first and second. And you know what? I did it again. I apologize. I followed the wrong base runner. They threw Pritchard out on a 9-3 putout. And I got to get in softball mode for that stuff. So Mill River will not pick up a run that inning. They'll stay 7-1 going into the third. The Minutemen would lead. Amanda Lee will look at the top of the order. Rainey Paquette, Rachel Horn, and Kathy Decker do up for Poultney. They got their 1 run on a couple singles back in the first. Paquette struck out in the first inning. That's been her only at bat. And she'll take ball 1 low and in the dirt. And again, Amanda Lee. Got a lot of velocity on the ball. That one came in low. Nice stop behind the plate by Sarah Brown. Now Lee with a couple strikeouts in the first inning. She had none in the second, as they'll do a little housekeeping and dust off the plate. I didn't get a good look at the umpires. I mean, to me, it's a long way off. That looks like Craig Pettis behind the plate. And that's Carlton Laird doing the field bases. As the umpires today. Now, I've been out to Green Mountain College a couple times and haven't brought back a game yet. First time I went out, there was no game. It got canceled. Well, it got moved down to the other college's field, and not that anybody owed me an explanation, but I was not informed that. So I went all the way out there to do a game that wasn't there. Went back out Saturday, and they couldn't play on their home field, which has a center field fence where I would stand behind it like this and videotape. And that could be playable. That's fading toward the fans, and Mangan almost came up with a nice over-the-shoulder catch, but it'll be just a strike, foul ball. Now, when we were Saturday, they were on the elementary school or middle field field, and I just couldn't shoot it after I had no logistical spot to shoot from. So they have 2 home games this week, and I'm going out again, and maybe I can bring you back a Green Mountain College softball game, as that will be a walk to Paquette, and let's see if they want to get the bases going here. The stealing and the small ball, and get that Mill River defense just a moving. As Dan Brackus will bend over so I can see the camera work. That's the short. The play's the first, and she's safe. Yeah, they looked to go to Paquette at second. She's a fast runner to begin with. She's a very speedy athlete. But she was off at the crack of the bat. They couldn't get hers. By the time they decided to turn around and throw to first, Horn with good speed was safe. So first and second, nobody out. And Decker up. She shows bunt, and it'll be foul. I like it, though. Decker, back in the first inning, struck out. So she will step in there. It's Amanda. I got confused with so many people standing in front of me. And that tattooed the outside corner for a strike. So Poultney with a little buzz going here in the third inning, down 7-1. Runner first and second, nobody down. Oh, great pitch. Runner going, straight steal, and she's going to be safe. Nice backup out there by Maneri behind Mangan. And so on a double steal, you got to like that style of play. I like that a lot. Decker, an opportunity here to drive in a couple of runs. Yeah, it's there at the number 3 batter. They got Boguski and Diefendorf coming up next. And that's what happened. The base popped out, and Carlton's just getting it readjusted. There it goes as it drops in. So man to lead, and a little bit of a jam here in the third. And she went to that high fastball, no good. Rise ball, just a tad bit too much of a rise to it. As Decker. You know, I have it down as Decker, but that's a strike call. That doesn't look like Decker. Huh, so maybe they have a... No, whoever it is, they tagged it. That's going to drive in a couple. As Decker told to turn the corner, and she's going to come in and score. And so that is somehow, I have lost track of people. I'm searching hard out there, I got to tell you. Paquette scored. Horn scored. That was Boguski. So I've lost Decker somewhere. Diefendorf due up. Now she was listed as the DP. Now I'm not sure how that works, because I don't think I missed her. I mean, it's possible. I mean, because who the heck am I? There's the throw down, and she will be safe, and the ball's going to roll through, and they got to play on her at third, and she's going to be just there ahead of the throw. So Boguski and Poultney making some noise here in the third, and they're doing it with a lot of aggressive base running. And that's definitely Boguski at third. Now Diefendorf is at the plate, and I honestly don't think I missed Decker. I don't know where she went to. There's a small ball, and it's going to be foul. Boy, I like the way these Devils, Blue Devils come though. They're stealing, they're bunting, they're small balling. I like it. They've got the lead down to 7-3 now. I have it as nobody down. On that, it's going to be Pritchard taking it unassisted. The runner will come across in Boguski, and that's a smart play by, well, that's not Pritchard, that's Sierra Phelps over there. The run scores, but they got the out. And at the plate now is Brown. She grounded out 5-3. She grounded out to Mangan at third base. Jaws low. Trying to tickle that outside corner, and tell by Lee's body language that she thought she got it there. So I have it as 1 out. Nobody on base right now. Same pitch, same results. Ball 2. So Kelsey Brown will be followed by Lamberton. And there is a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Defense stays the same. Mangan at third base defensively. Maneri at short. Camo at second. Phelps at first. Brown the catcher. Lee in the circle. And there is a walk. It's now Emma Lamberton up. She reached on an error back in the first. So it's 7-3. Mill River in the third, scheduled for 7. Amanda Lee will whip it in there and get the strike call. That was a beautiful pitch. Had a lot of movement on it, a lot of action on it. Dambrakis, Kachupi, and Radenis, the outfield. That's going to be the short, deep in the hole. Maneri's throw. Going to be safe, yeah. She stayed back on the ball because Mangan came across the diamond from third base. Looked like she was going to cut the ball off. When she didn't, that was just going to be a deep throw because she didn't charge the ball. for the shortstop, Maneri. Now Michaela Lewis due up. Now I'm saying due up because the Poultney coach is having a chat with, I'm sure that's Craig Pettis, but I think, are we getting a courtesy runner? Yes, okay. So they're doing a little switch there, having a courtesy runner come in for Lamberton, the pitcher who just batted. Lewis is up, and I just cannot see the jersey number of the courtesy runner, but there she goes. She turned right on cue. Number 6 is Ginger Vaughn. And again, so Poultney with a couple more base runners on and one out unofficially. That came in high, and they'll get chasing everybody around. Again, down at second base is Kelsey Brown. Vaughn is at first, and Lewis at the plate. Lee in the circle, and Mill River up 7-3 in the third. That's going to be off from the glove of Lee to second. Camo to first, gets the out. And so, somehow I missed an out, and that had to be the player that I've lost track of. So Poultney does cut the lead to 7-3. And another correction, besides missing him out that inning, I got the score wrong at 7-4. Mill River over Poultney. Katrupi up, then Brown, and then top the order Lee. And that pitch will be, well, gotta be honest with you, I couldn't see it. So I'll switch the camera around here in a minute so I'm not missing the strike zone. And that is going to be caught on the fly for the first out here in the bottom of the third. Better write it down so I don't lose track of it. So Katrupi will fly out. And that was Michaela Lewis. So Lewis will make the grab in right field, and that'll bring up Sarah Brown, who had a single. Her only time up, 7-4 Mill River. And I'm not sure if that was a changeup. It had a little changeup action going on it. But she was going up the ladder after it. Oh, great pitch. Great pitch by Lamberton. 2 down now as top of the order, Lee coming up. Lamberton with 3 strikeouts unofficially in the ball game. And boy, with me missing everything today, it's all very unofficial. Now Lee has had a couple bunt singles. Oh, now see, I moved and she moved. That's not fair. And that'll be a ball if she moves again. And that's going to be to her, and Lyle will give the way, and it'll be caught, and that's the inning. Nice inning defensively by Poultney. They got some good plays on the field, and good job pitching. We'll stay 7-4 going into the fourth. Mill River with the lead. Poultney, see if they can build momentum off that 1-2-3 defensive inning. They've got Laura Lyle at the plate against Amanda Lee. And that'll be outside. Now Poultney with 3 runs in the third, one in the first. That's where we sit right now. Lee with the 2 strikeouts in the ball game. Those came back in the first inning. Now, a lot of times you get a good defensive inning like that. That just pumps you up, builds that momentum over offensively. That'll be low as Lee's struggling right now to find that consistency. As Lyle in the top of the order, Paquette and Horn do up, and I'll try not to lose anybody this inning. It happens because you got to remember, that's a walk. Now, when you're calling the game, keeping the book and running the camera, not that I'm looking for any slack, there's a lot going on, and all you got to do is put your head down and write something in the book, and you look, somebody's gone. Paquette up. She scored the last inning. She scored a run last inning. She started the ball game off with a strikeout. She struck out, and that came back in the first, obviously, and she was able to walk and score and have a stolen base in the third as we're in the fourth inning. Tight one, 7-4 today. That's a good hit. That's going to be Dan Brackus, so tracking it, grabbing it. She's got a good piece of it. Dan Brackus, very smooth outfielder, will record the put out for the first out of the fourth inning. Now Rachel Hornup. She scored twice today. She's singled twice. And she'll swing through that. There's the steal, and yeah, catcher did the absolutely right thing. She threw to the bag. Yeah. Nobody had the coverage, and that'll be a stolen base for Lyle. And I got to tell you, I like this Poultney squad, where they're being aggressive on the bases. So the one out, runner move up to second base, and that's going to be the Dambracus, and almost didn't have to move. She'll make the second grab, and she'll run the ball in towards the infield. Now we'll hold the runner at second. So 2 down on 2 putouts by Casey Dambracus. Now Kathy Decker up. She has struck out, and I don't know how she made her other out, because that's the young lady that I lost track of last inning. That's off the glove of Lee. They'll struggle to get it. Lee will pick it up, and they'll be safe at first. Yeah, that just had chaos written all over it from the get-go, as Poultney will have runners at the corners, and this is a perfect example. First and third. I don't care if there's 2 outs to send the runner on the steal from first to second, so you can draw the throw and get people moving around on that infield for Boguski up. Boguski's 2 for 2 today with a run scored. That's on the outside corner for a strike. That's a great pitch. She's got 3 RBIs, also Boguski does, so she's done a lot of damage up there for Poultney. Lee into the windup, and good stop by Sarah Brown, the catcher. Well, you got the runner down there in the corner at third base. You got to keep everything in front of you from the catcher's position. So Poultney fell behind early. That's fouled off from the foot of Boguski. Diefendorf on deck for the Blue Devils. But there are 2 down, 2 on, and they haven't tried to move that runner from first to third on a, first to second on a steal off the fist and out of play or the backstop. I'm surprised. You know, I know the 2 out thing. I'm still surprised Poultney's been so good at creating pressure on the defense with their running game that they didn't got her looking. They'll strand 2 will go into the bottom of the 4th, 7-4 Mill River. Dambracus up. She's 0 for 2 today, so Casey Dambracus. Now Lamberton, well, not so much that pitch. I don't know if that was a changeup or what, but I think she's throwing much freer. Her motion, her arm release since the first inning. She gave up the 7 runs in the first inning, and she's held Mill River scoreless since that point. She's got 3 strikeouts, and she's coming off a 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd. And Dambracus will get that to Paquette, and she will make the scoop. I don't know if you got to see it or not, because the camera works very shaky today. But that's going to be 1 down. As Dambracus retired. As the shortstop, Paquette will make the grab. Now Maneri up. She's 1 for 2 today. She has singled, she has scored a run, and she has flied out to center field for Lyle made the grab. That's put into play, and they'll have the 4-3 ground out. So 2 quick outs here, recorded by Poultney defensively, as that went from Kelsey Brown to Margaret Lyle. And now Melissa Mangan up. Again, Lamberton looking to have back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. That'll be a ball. Yeah, if you go all the way back to the last base runner, which was Mangan, she walked back in the 2nd. She is now retired. Lamberton has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row, and she's going to make it 9. And she's got it. So another good defensive inning for Poultney, and they're down only 3 as we go into the top of the 5th, 7-4 Mill River. Or the catcher do up here in the top of the 5th for the Blue Devils, as Amanda Lee would unofficially 3 strikeouts in the ball game, and I say unofficially because I lost track of an out. So Lee toughing this one out. Not, like I said, not razor sharp, but again, Poultney a good ball club also. That defense, well, it looks the same to me, with Phelps at first, Cabo at second, Maneri at short, Mangan at third, and Brown the catcher. There's a strike call. I already mentioned that Amanda Lee is in the circle. Dan Brackus is your center fielder. Rodenis is in right, and your left fielder is Katrupi. And the wind has settled down probably 50% here since the start of the ball game. This is much better weather to try to cover outside spring sports than what we've been having. Oh, and she got her to help her out as Diefendorf chasing that elevated fastball out of the strike zone for the first out of the inning on a strikeout. Now Kelsey Brown up. She had walked her last time up. She grounded out to Mangan at third prior to that. As that's going to be off from the fifth and caught by Sierra Phelps for the second out. So the put out will go to the first baseman, Phelps. 2 out very quickly here. For Poultney is Emma Lamberton up. She reached on an error and she is singled, so she's been on base twice today for the Blue Devils, and that's going to be in the dirt for a ball. Again, PEGTV.com. Click video on demand, and you can watch local sports anytime, anywhere. Free service. And that could be the inning, as will be picked up by Meng, and she'll fire over. And both teams sizzling defensively now as we go to the bottom of the fifth. 7-4, Mill River. As we go to the bottom of the fifth now, Mill River's going to have Camo, Rodenis, and Pritchard due up. Again, Lamberton, I lost track. She's either retired 8 or 9 in a row now. But both defensives. After that first inning, 7-1 score, Mill River had the lead. I thought it was going to be one of those crazy, 21-17 games, but it settled into a nice job between the two pitchers, and the defense is doing their job behind them. So, good softball. It's only going to get better. The longer they play into the spring and the weather gets better, the games will get intense like that. It's been a real good one today. The West Rutland Mill River softball game that I did last Friday, I mean, that was 2-1 for 5 innings of West Rutland, and 2-2 going into the 6th. That was a really good game. And then, well, a lot of things went wrong in the bottom of the 6th or top of the 6th for West Rutland, and the score didn't really indicate how good a game that was at the end of the, at the end of the contest. And so Lamberton's streak will come to an end with the walk to Camo. Prior to that, Camo had walked and scored, struck out. Now she's walked again. Has Rodenis up. And boy, she turned on that. And that is going to be foul. I'll tell you what, she's got a quick bat. When she turns on the ball, she gets her hips through real quick. Well, it's a good time to glance down and see what Rodenis has done today. She has singled, scored, and had an RBI all in the first inning, and then she flied out to left field. So she is 1 for 2, and they put a shift on as they, after that ball being pulled so foul, and well, great pitch, great swing. But the umpire's calling, Camo went to second, was the ball was foul tipped. So she has to go, the base runner, Camo, has to go back to first. And now we're going to have a little conference between the interim coach for Mill River, Darren Badgley, and he's going to talk to Rodenis. She's got 2 strikes on her. And, never rule out dropping one down here, a small ball. I mean, I wouldn't do that with Rodenis, but oh, that could be gone. No, it's going to be in the park, and it's going to be caught by Lyle. And she'll quickly get the ball, and that was hit a mile. A nice job of tracking the ball down by Lyle in center field, and that just goes as a very long out. Tell you what, Rodenis, when she hit that at first, I thought it was gone, honestly. Pritchard up now. And that will be a ball, and Camo still at first. Diefendorf, the catcher, want to keep everything in front of her. As again, the inning's starting to fade away now, as we're in the 5th, scheduled for 7. There's the runner going, and she will just beat the throw as Paquette took the throw from Diefendorf, but it was just about 2 steps too late. Katrupi on deck. Pritchard will watch that one sail high. So Lamberton, after 3 consecutive innings, she had back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. Having to go a little bit further here, getting extended here in the 5th. As that will walk Pritchard for the second walk of the inning. And now Katrupi up. She has singled, scored, and had an RBI, and she flied out to right field. And that will be low. So Lamberton has missed high, and now she's missed low. See if she can find that rhythm she had back earlier. Small ball, fair ball, throw. Boguski got her. Moves the runners up, though. Yeah, I think everybody did a good job on that. It's 2 down. Runners at second and third. You might say for Sarah Brown, you might say, why bunt there? Because now you got 2 outs. Because you put the runners in a position where a pass, ball, wild pitch, and error will score you. You kept out of a double play by bunting. There's always a possibility that you force so much pressure on the defense to get you on the small ball that they create an error. I think it was a great call. Big swing and a miss, and they're going to have 2 runners. They got a pickle going, and Pritchard will be safe. Oh my God, she was all the way to third base and never made a play on her. Well, it's different. So Brown, after an adventurous pitch, ready now. And that will be foul. Tell you what, Brown went up and out of the strike zone after that one. Kind of helped Lamberton out, actually. So big moment defensively for Poultney as they're trying to keep it just a 3-run deficit. There's 2 outs, 2 on in the bottom of the 5th for Mill River. And that will roll across the plate for a ball. Amanda Lee is on deck if they can extend the inning to another batter. And that's going to be a base hit. And that will score at least 1 as Lyle will get the ball back into play quickly. That runner will stay. Pritchard will stay at third. So an RBI for Brown. And I'll tell you what, again, she went up out of the strike zone, but that must be her gig, her niche. She able to go up and get it and drive a run in. So she will have an RBI single. And Amanda Lee up. So with 2 down. Now see, if they didn't bunt the runner over to third, she wouldn't have been able to score there. So again, that small ball is big. It's so much different than the baseball. Like, I wouldn't be shocked to watch Lee drop one right here. That's going to be a good stop by Diefendorf, and the runner will advance. Brown went down to second base. Lee with a long look down to third. Boguski about 5 steps in off the bag at third base. And that's going to be a gapper. Will be caught. Lyle will go back and make the grab. Lyle covering some ground there will get the out, and it'll be 8-4 the Minutemen with the lead going into the 6th. Poultney, Michaela Lewis is penciled in. I do think that is her. She's reached on a fielder's choice, and she's grounded out to Camo at second. Amanda Lee with a 4-run lead for Mill River in the circle. And great pitch, strike 1, outside corner, knee high. A lot of pop on the ball too. Laura Lyle is on deck for Poultney. The center fielder made that nice grab, and that's going to be caught by Maneri as she had just enough height to get up the out. You see Lee mimicking her, going up on that tiptoe to make the grab. So they get the leadoff batter out. Now Lyle grounded out to the pitcher Lee, and then walked. And that was low for a ball. Yeah, Poultney with a run in the first, and then 3 in the third. So far, the beginning for Mill River was the 7-run first inning. As the sun has decided to make an appearance here this spring during the spring sports season. And strike 2, outside corner. So 2 strikes now. On Lyle, top of the order, Paquette on deck. It's going to come right at you, and that's going to be a base hit. So there's a runner on, and we'll see if they get that running game going for Poultney. And so Lyle's been on base for the last 2 times. Last time was a walk. This was a base hit, and Paquette up. She flied out to center field her last time up. And she jumped on that first pitch, and it's going to be able to play over again, as it's a tough one with the wind gusting like that for the catcher to locate it and make the grab, and that'll just be a strike 1 on the foul ball. So they get reset. Poultney down 8-4 in the 6th inning. They're going to throw to first, and she will be safe as you see Phelps turn around trying to sweep tag her. So yeah, we're scheduled for 7. It looks like we're going to make it weather-wise and mercy rule-wise. And stepping back as that pitch busts inside. A good eye right there by Paquette. She started the game off with a strikeout. She struck out in the 1st, walked and scored in the 3rd, and then flied out to center field in the 4th. Oh, now it's going to be Katrupi. She'll make the grab. Again, this Mill River outfield, very solid defensive team. As we have seen with Dambrakis, Redenis, and Katrupi. And now Rachel Hornup. She scored a couple runs today. She's got 2 singles and a flyout. And there's been no movement at first base as far as trying to send the runner. Yeah, great pitch. Been consistently called on that corner all day. That's a great pitch right there. If you can throw that like there on that corner, paint that corner. Mangan looking to end the inning. Will double clutch throw, and that's the inning as he'll strand 1. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th with Mill River up 8-4 over Poultney. The number 2 batter in the order, Dambrakis and Maneri, and then Mangan due up. And boy, make no doubt about that, as Dambrakis jumped on that real quick, and she will be at first base, and she also has a ton of speed. So I'll be very surprised if we don't see some action over there at first base from Dambrakis. She'll open up the 6th for Mill River with a single. Maneri laying off that high floater as Lamberton had that rough first inning. Well, the whole team, Poultney did, the first inning. But boy, she settled down nicely and has pitched a very solid ball game for Poultney. And that's going to be down to 2nd. Oh, she's going to bobble it, and Dambrakis will be in at 2nd base. There was no throw, as Diefendorf, the catcher, had a little problem coming up with that short hop of a pitch. So Maneri, who grounded out to 2nd base her last time up, going to the opposite field, and Lewis will look into the sun and make the grab. You can see she's got the shades on. And that is the first out of the bottom of the 6th. Yeah, now Mangan up. Mangan with a lot of drive in the ball. She's a good line drive hitter. She went up there chopping wood and will be swinging strike. Dambrakis down at 2nd. Led this inning off with a sharp single to left field. That's going to be to the shortstop, Paquette. She'll bobble, fire, and got it. See, Paquette never panicked right there, just stayed with it. She's been an outstanding athlete her whole career at Poultney. So with 2 down and a runner at 3rd. Very important not to let that run come in, as top of the 7th will loom for Poultney. It could be their last at bat, as Camo went up, and Camo will not bat. She was due up, and I just need to see if I can locate a number to tell you who is going to pinch hit here. That's Cornell, Madison Cornell, number 22. And she will step in with a situation like this, runner at 3rd and 2 down. Lamberton, number 9 in blue, in the circle for Poultney, and she will throw strike 1. Turned the ball over nicely that time, Lamberton did. Long look down to 3rd base by Cornell, and she's set now. That will be high for a ball. A good eye laying off that pitch. So, like I said, every run you give up here is that many more you got to make up in the 7th. That's why it's important for Poultney trying to get a defensive stop here. The Minutemen looking to go to 3 wins, no losses on the season. Poultney would drop to 1-2 if they were to drop the game. But I got to tell you, I've been impressed with both teams today. It's been a very good softball game today. That's going to be down to Decker. She'll go to 1st, and we'll go to the 7th. 8-4 Mill River over Poultney. So Amanda Lee pitched very well today. She's going to be looking at Kathy Decker, Nicole Boguski, and Taylor Diefendorf. Unless they have a pinch hitter, which I don't believe that part of the order you're going to see that. That's ripped on and fouled straight back. Like I said, Lee has had a gutty performance today. She is able to battle each batter. Defense has played very well behind her, and that will be just a little bit inside for a ball. And that defense will stay the same with Mangum at third, Maneri at short. Commode comes out to play second, and that's going to be Phelps over at first, and she'll drop that one in for a strike on the outside corner. Brown remains the catcher, Dambrakis, Rodenis, and Kachupi the outfield for Mill River. They came into the ballgame with 2 wins, no losses. Poultney came in at 1-1, and Decker with the big swing and a miss for a strikeout. So they retired the leadoff batter here in the 7th. That'll bring up Boguski. Boguski has singled twice and struck out. She's got 3 RBIs in the ballgame for Poultney. And that's going to be to Dambrakis. She will track it and have a bounce in front of her. And another base hit for Boguski. The ball will squirt through the infield, backed up by Mangan, and that'll keep Boguski at first base. Again, score 8-4 as we're in the 7th. And Diefendorf, the catcher, stepping in from the right side. Wind up the pitch and sharply hit down the right field line, but foul. New ball given out to Lee. Again, River opened the season with a win over Twin Valley, and went on the road to West Rutland. Able to get the win there in some pretty nasty weather. Today, by far, the most comfortable day to come watch a softball game. And again, you can always go to Mill River's website or viewmyschedule.com, and you can find the Mill River sports schedule for baseball and for softball. I will warn you, if you come out and watch a game, bring a fleece jacket with you just in case. And that'll be knocked down by Brown, runner off, and the throw will not come down. It's a good job of just not compounding the problem. They'll let the runner advance, and Boguski will go down to second with 1 out. Kelsey Brown due up next for the Blue Devils, and great pitch. That'll be the 2nd strikeout this inning for Lee, and Poultney now with 2 down and a runner at second. As we're going to have a little conference down the third baseline. And I'm just waiting to see the jersey numbers to make sure that is who it should be. No, that's Ginger Vaughn coming up. So have a pinch hitter in Vaughn stepping up to the plate for Poultney. And she'll make contact, and that's going to be a tough throw. No, Maneri will, again, go back to third and almost get the tag. Nice job diving back, and a heads-up play defensively by Maneri, but that will be runners at the corners with 2 down. Now Emma Lamberton up, the pitcher for Poultney. She's had a productive day. She's reached on an error. She singled, and she's grounded out to Mangum. That's going to be to Lee for the ball game to first, and that will be dropped, and that will extend the ball game into another out as 1 run will come across the plate, making it 8-5 now. The Rivers lead cut to 3. And Michaela Lewis will face Lee, and Lee again with a chance to put an end to the game, and this time it will happen, and it'll be an 8-5 Mill River win over Poultney in a good softball game from North Clarendon, Vermont. We'll get the handshakes, and Mill River will go to 3 wins, no losses on the year. Poultney will go to 1-2. And a good job by the umpires. Get out there, support your student athletes, and always tune in to Munger Vision.